Stephen Paul Jobs was born on the 24th of February, 1955 in San Francisco, USA. His biological parents were not married and gave him up for adoption. He was adopted by Clara and Paul Jobs. In 1971, Jobs met Steve Wozniak, who was 5 years older than him, but they bonded over their love of electronics. After high school, Jobs attended Reed College in Oregon, but found the classes boring and dropped out after 6 months. When Jobs was 21, he and Wozniak started Apple Computers in Jobs' family garage with money they got by selling Jobs' van and Wozniak's scientific calculator. By making computers smaller, cheaper, and accessible to everyday users, their company became a huge success and sales quickly increased. Although Jobs left Apple in 1985, he returned to his post in 1997 when the company needed new ideas. He helped invent new products such as the iMac, the iBook for students, the iPod music player, and iTunes music software. In 2007, he introduced the touchscreen iPhone, which changed the way phones were used. Apple products were not only designed to be cutting-edge technology, but also to be stylish and easy to use. In addition, Jobs contributed to computer animation. In 1986, he bought a small company, which later became Pixar Animation Studios. It produced the first full-length computer-animated film Toy Story, followed by other blockbusters. In 2003, Jobs was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer. He fought the disease for several years, and stopped working in August 2011. 2 months later, he passed away. He had 4 children, 3 with his wife of 20 years and 1 from a previous relationship. On an Apple webpage, a statement reads, "Apple has lost a visionary and creative genius, and the world has lost an amazing human being. It is said that women can rule kingdoms, and some of them actually did." Below are 3 of the most famous queens in world history. Cleopatra 7. The queen of ancient Egypt, ruling from 51 BC to 30 BC, was most famous for her determination and beauty. She was also very intelligent and well-educated, and could speak 9 languages. Under her rule, Egypt was a rich nation and remained independent from the expanding Roman Empire. Queen Elizabeth I ruled England for 45 years, 1558 to 1603. She was admired for her strong determination and intelligence. Elizabeth could speak and write 5 languages, and even translated lengthy texts into French, Italian, and Latin. She is considered one of the most successful queens in British history. She defeated the powerful Spanish Navy in 1588 and encouraged the development of the arts. She refused to get married. Catherine II was a minor German princess who became known as Catherine the Great and ruled Russia from 1762 to 1796. She was intelligent, ambitious, and dedicated to her adopted country. She expanded the Russian Empire, adding an area of more than 500,000 square kilometers. She improved education for children and women, and opened the first school for girls in Russia. During her time there were also great developments in architecture, trade, and culture. As a result of globalization, the world is becoming more and more connected. This has changed people's way of life, beliefs, art and customs, or their culture, in many respects. Although people's experiences around the world have become very similar, globalization has also encouraged cultural diversity. Below are some examples. Fast food chains and international restaurants have become popular, offering a wide range of dishes and more food choices to local people. For example, here in Vietnam, we can enjoy Italian pizza or Japanese sushi, in addition to our traditional food. Moreover, some international dishes use local ingredients, which make them unique and more suitable to local tastes. On the other hand, Vietnamese specialities, such as pho and banh mi, are also gaining popularity worldwide thanks to globalization. People can quickly discover new music from all over the world. People nowadays enjoy listening to music from different countries and cultures, and in different languages. For example, American teens are captivated by K-pop music and dance. There are also many music festivals around the globe that bring artists and music fans together. In today's connected world, it is very common for musicians across the world to work on music projects and share ideas together. Globalization has also impacted fashion by opening it up to a variety of styles and influences from around the world. Cross-cultural styles that blend both traditional and modern elements are on the rise. This presents opportunities for fashion designers to be creative and reflect the cultural richness of the world. It is now easier for people to keep up with fashion trends from different cultures and regions, and express their identities in new and exciting ways. In conclusion, globalization has helped strengthen cultural diversity in the world and made people appreciate different cultures and lifestyles. Culture shock refers to feelings of confusion or anxiety that people may have when experiencing a new and different culture. Culture shock can be caused by language barriers, unfamiliar lifestyles, different climate, or strange food. For example, visitors to the US find it hard to get used to the local tipping culture. By contrast, tipping in Japan can be considered rude and even insulting in many situations. The best way to overcome culture shock is to start learning about the new culture before moving there. You should try to focus on the positive aspects of your new experiences and keep an open mind. Learning about cultural diversity helps understand different ways of thinking about the world, gain new knowledge and experiences, and promote personal growth. Research says that almost 2/3 to 3/4 of the world drive on the right, while only 1/4 to 1/3 of the world drive on the left, including the UK and Australia. Or you may find out that things that you're used to are banned in another country. In Singapore, for example, the sale of chewing gum is illegal and Singaporeans take this law very seriously. So always remember that culture shock is not a bad experience, but the beginning of an exciting learning journey to cultural diversity. Plastic has become very common in our daily life. However, most plastic items take up to 1,000 years to decompose in landfills. Can we enjoy the convenience of plastics and a greener world at the same time? Our readers have sent us many emails with useful tips this week. I try to use fewer plastic bags when shopping. The supermarket near my house even provides cardboard boxes, so I can pack my groceries and get rid of plastic packaging. When I must use plastic bags, I try to reuse them again and again instead of throwing them away after a single use. I know how convenient it is to buy a bottle of water from a vending machine or a supermarket. However, I always bring my reusable water bottle. All I have to remember is to fill my bottle before going to school, and then use the water filling stations or drinking fountains at school. I always reuse plastic takeaway containers. I use them to store portions of cooked food and keep leftovers in the fridge, which is also better for the environment. I have learnt that most plastic containers have numbers at the bottom to show the type of plastic they're made of. So when you recycle a bottle, for instance, remove the cap because a bottle often has number 1 on it while the cap often has number 5. Numbers 1 and 2 are the most widely accepted plastics for recycling. When I started recycling, I made the mistake of putting some plastic takeaway containers with some leftover food into the recycling bin. The next day, the whole bin was contaminated, so all the recyclables were taken to the landfill instead. So now I always rinse out containers before recycling them. Festivals come with many traditions that bring happiness and joy. However, some of these customs may not be environmentally friendly, and may need to be changed for a sustainable future. Below are 3 of them. In countries such as China, India, and Japan, releasing balloons or sky lanterns provides a spectacular sight. They are also flown for bringing good luck and sending wishes to the sky. However, the litter left behind the balloons and lanterns is hard to decompose. The frames of the lanterns can harm wild animals, and many animals mistake the balloons for food. Lanterns also caused wildfires in the past. In Australia, the US, and many other countries, there are fascinating firework displays that people won't want to miss. However, fireworks actually release a lot of harmful chemicals into the air. Like sky lanterns, they can also cause fires. Real or fake Christmas trees are often displayed in almost every house, office, and shop during the festive season. When Christmas is over and the real trees go to landfills, they produce methane and carbon dioxide, which are 2 harmful greenhouse gases. Fake trees can be reused for many years, but during their production, harmful pollutants are released into the air. And when they end up in landfills, they will take hundreds of years to decompose. Alexandre Yersin was born in 1863 in Switzerland, and passed away at the age of 80 in Nha Trang, Vietnam. His family was originally from France. He was a doctor who made great contributions to medicine as well as the people in Vietnam. In 1890, Yersin left Europe to work as a medical doctor on a ship near Indochina, where he explored the region. In 1894, he was sent to Hong Kong to deal with an infectious disease. Then, he discovered a bacterium responsible for the disease and saved millions of people's lives. 1 year later, Yersin established a small laboratory in Nha Trang to prepare serums against the disease in human beings and cattle. To fund the laboratory, he started to grow corn, rice, and coffee, and introduced the rubber tree in Indochina. It later became a branch of the Pasteur Institute in Paris. From 1902 to 1904, he lived in Hanoi and helped establish Hanoi Medical University. He was also the first medical director of the university. In 1920, he introduced the first effective drug for preventing and treating malaria in the region. His house in Nha Trang is now the Yersin Museum. A university in Da Lat was named Yersin University in his honor. Ton That Tung was a famous surgeon who made great contributions to the medicine in Vietnam. From 1935 to 1939, he performed operations on over 200 livers of dead bodies and analyzed them when he attended the Indochina School of Medicine and Pharmacy. After the revolution in August 1945, he worked as a private doctor to take care of Uncle Ho. A few years later, he became the director of Phu Don Hospital, Viet Duc Hospital today. In 1958, he was the first doctor to perform heart surgery in Vietnam. Later, in the 1960s, he found a new surgery method to reduce bleeding and shorten the time for the operation to only 4 to 8 minutes. Hanoi Then and Now exhibition has attracted thousands of visitors this week. The pictures have brought back childhood memories to old residents while helping younger generations see how the city has changed over the years. In the Then Hall, visitors can see pictures of 20th century Hanoi. Back in 1954, it was a small city with a population of about 530,000 residents in an area of about 152 square kilometers. The capital's famous Old Quarter or 36 Old Streets dates back hundreds of years, with each street focusing on a different trade or craft. My parents couldn't afford a motorbike or car. Most residents used to get around by bicycle or on foot, said an 80-year-old visitor. Trams, which began service in 1901, were a popular means of public transport until 1991. Buses were not very frequent then. People lived and worked in low-rise buildings. The city was a fascinating mixture of French colonial buildings and traditional Eastern architecture. The Now pictures show a modern city with a population of over 8 million people. Over the years, the urban area has gradually expanded to over 3,000 square kilometers, including many of the surrounding villages. As rural residents move into Hanoi, the government is providing more affordable housing. More high-rise buildings have also been built. Hanoi has improved its transport infrastructure, building new roads and bridges. It is modernizing bus services using more electric ones. The Hanoi Metro opened to the public in 2021 and is expected to include more lines by 2030. However, urbanization has created new problems. As more people come to seek better job opportunities, the city is getting more and more crowded. This has led to more traffic jams and higher unemployment rates, said a 21-year-old student. Air pollution is also causing concern among city residents. Urbanization in Malaysia started in the early 1970s. At that time, only around 26% of the population lived in urban areas. After a period of rapid growth, the urban and rural populations were almost equal in the early 1990s. Since then, the urbanization rate has continued to increase gradually. The urban population, for example, rose from 66% in 2004 to 74% in 2014. At present, Malaysia is known as one of the most urbanized countries in Southeast Asia. It is also one of the most rapidly urbanized regions around the world. According to the latest statistics, over 77% of Malaysia's total population now live in urban areas and cities. Australia is an interesting example of early urbanization, which started at the end of the 19th century. At that time, over 60% of the population lived in urban areas. Since then, it has maintained a gradual growth. This was also due to the country's immigration policy, which encouraged people to settle in its coastal, urban areas. Australia is now one of the most urbanized countries in the world, with almost 90% of the population living in urban areas. The two largest cities of Australia, Sydney and Melbourne, are home to over 40% of the country's population. Tech World magazine online is looking to fill 2 vacancies in its technology section. We want people who understand electronic products and can communicate their opinions clearly. We offer flexible working hours and a bonus based on the number of times people view, share, and comment on your reviews. Heart to Heart organization is looking for 4 people to help at charity events. You will be greeting and talking to guests, and sorting donations. You need to be friendly, polite, and willing to work at weekends. This is an unpaid role, but a great opportunity to develop new skills and make friends. We are looking for hard-working people to join our team, welcoming customers and arranging window displays. You will need to work from Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. No experience is required. On-the-job training is given to all employees. We offer an hourly wage plus additional benefits such as free meals and overtime pay. The English department at Hanoi School currently has 5 part-time vacancies open. Main responsibilities: supervising classroom activities, supporting teachers, checking attendance requirements. Excellent English skills, must be responsible, enthusiastic, and organized. Successful applicants will be required to work 20 hours per week. Are you looking for casual work? We need someone to take care of a 2-year-old child every morning from Monday to Friday. The perfect candidate should be responsible, reliable, good with young children and preferably female. To apply, call Ms. Lam on 098 936 4731. In Japan, the railway system is huge and everyone there uses trains. This makes them overcrowded most of the time. During rush hour, railway station attendants called pushers or oshier do the strangest job in the world. They push passengers into trains. They have to do this because of the large number of commuters who wish to arrive at their desired locations on time. That's why they must endure the pain in squeezing themselves inside the train. Have you ever wondered how the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, in Dubai, is cleaned? It takes a team of 36 window cleaners a total of 3 months to clean the tower's reflective windows. Working from the height of more than 800 meters, the cleaners face huge challenges, especially during bad weather. They must be the bravest cleaners in the world. Every year in the UK, millions of balls get lost in the water around courses. This gave rise to the dearth for golf ball divers whose job is deep into the lakes and ponds of golf courses to find the lost balls. Of them are professional scuba divers, but they spend long hours crawl around in mud and carrying heave buckets. On average, they find 5 balls per lake. After cleaning, they resell or recycle the balls. Sound dangerous, doesn't it? Today, more and more students are doing part-time jobs while they are still studying at secondary school. Having a job while at school can benefit secondary school students in several ways. To begin with, students can gain and develop important skills that may be useful in their future careers. The real work environment can help students learn more new skills as well as improve existing ones such as communication, teamwork, or problem-solving skills. For example, if a student works as a waiter or waitress, he or she can learn how to greet and communicate with customers. Those who are equipped with various life skills can perform better in their future jobs. In addition, having a part-time job can provide students with more experience and then boost their confidence. Students will become more confident if they have opportunities to work together with different groups of people. As we may know, a teaching assistant will help the teacher prepare and present the lesson or mark students' assignments. Students who apply for the post of a teaching assistant are required to meet and interact with the teachers, students of different ages, or even parents. This can develop their classroom experience as well as confidence. Finally, those who have a part-time job can build more relationship for their careers in the future. The opportunities to meet in person and talk to other people in society will help students create a strong connection with people who may be their employers, colleagues, or customers later in their life. Are you looking for a job that impacts the life of children? Are you enthusiastic about teaching English? Join us as an English tutor to make a difference in children's education. We offer flexible working hours and you can choose to teach morning, afternoon, or evening classes. You will be responsible for planning and presenting your lessons, and marking students' assignments. If you want to be considered for this position, please contact the Human Resource Department. Artificial intelligence, AI, has had a huge impact on education. Here are some examples from around the world. To apply for a university or a job, secondary school students usually need to support their applications with a list of relevant qualifications and work experience. Thanks to AI, they can now effortlessly do that online. A team from 2 famous universities in Singapore has invented an AI digital portfolio. This app collects data from the learning and working experience that students upload onto the app. Then the data is sorted into sets of skills which students can use for their job or university applications. AI chatbots are being used in many schools and universities around the world. They can help keep students engaged in their learning by providing a more interactive experience. These virtual tutors can explain concepts clearly, answer specific questions, and give feedback on homework. Students can seek support from AI chatbots during and after classes so that they can understand the lessons better. They can also create groups on chatbots to share ideas about projects and activities. Engaging with each other using conversational AI can help students create a better and friendlier learning environment. Schools in Hong Kong are bringing fascinating learning to the classroom through the power of virtual reality, VR. This new way of teaching helps students learn valuable skills, provides hands-on experiences when studying history or geography, and limits potential dangers of chemistry or physics experiments. Guided virtual tours transport students back in time to study the history of Hong Kong or take them to tropical forests to explore endangered species. Experts in Israel have created a technology platform to support personalized learning. It collects data from students about what they know and do not know, analyses performances using AI, then offers them suitable assignments. This app has served as the main distance learning platform for many Israeli secondary school students who are preparing for advanced examinations in physics. There are also thousands of chemistry and biology students who benefit from this software. The word robot was first used in 1920. It comes from the Czech word robota, which means forced labor, used in a play by Karel Čapek to describe artificial people. In 1949, the British inventor William Gray Walter introduced the first machine which could slowly move in response to light stimulus. 10 years later, the first industrial robotic arm was installed at a General Motors plant in the US. Such robots are mostly used in car and computer industries. The first robot to use artificial intelligence was known as Shaky. It was developed at Stanford Research Institute between 1966 and 1972. Shaky could observe its surroundings, create a plan, and find its way across a room or push a box along the floor. 20 years later, a walking robot called Dante, which was capable of climbing steep slopes, was built to go into active volcanoes. The late 1990s marked a milestone in the history of robots when Kismet, a robotic head designed to provoke and react to emotions, was created. Since the beginning of the 21st century, more robots have been created to improve our life. The first self-driving car was launched on the 8th of October, 2005 when a Volkswagen Touareg named Stanley won a racing competition across the desert. In 2012, the AI expert Geoffrey Hinton and his team created the first accurate visual recognition system. In 2016, Sophia, a human-like robot, was introduced. Sophia can imitate human gestures and facial expressions and is able to answer certain questions and to make simple conversations. In the future, we may see more robots and AI applications. Whether we accept them or not, they will continue to play an important role in all aspects of our lives. Digital media is any form of media that is created, viewed, and distributed via electronic devices. Examples of digital media include websites, social media, videos, video games, digital advertising, software, and electronic books. With the development of technology and smart devices in recent years, digital media saw a sharp rise. This raises the question of whether digital media will replace traditional media such as printed newspapers, broadcast TV, and radio. Below are 2 opinion pieces sent to our debate corner this week. Nowadays, it is much easier and more convenient to access information via digital media. Most digital content is also freely accessible. All it takes is a few clicks, and you can read the latest news, watch videos, or see online adverts. In addition, digital media forms are more interactive. For example, customers can provide instant feedback, which can be used to solve any problems. In return, almost every organization can reach its target customers easily via digital media. Furthermore, digital media is more flexible since information can be updated easily and frequently. By contrast, articles in printed newspapers or adverts on TV cannot be changed immediately. With more than 75 million social media users in Vietnam and the number is increasing, it will not be long before traditional media becomes a thing of the past. Digital media is very convenient, but its strengths are also its own weaknesses. Since anyone with access to computers and the internet can post or share information online, it raises the question of how credible it is. On the other hand, traditional media offers information from reliable sources that are fact-checked. Moreover, let us not forget that digital media relies on the internet and smart devices to work well. There are still remote or disadvantaged areas in Vietnam where access to technology is limited or too expensive. Many people also still struggle with technology. So although digital media is on the rise, traditional media such as printed newspapers, broadcast TV, and radio is here to stay. There are different types of mass media and some work better than others in different situations. They could be as advanced as digital billboards, or as simple as public loudspeakers. Unlike a traditional billboard which can only show one printed image, a digital billboard can change between different messages. Digital billboards are also considered more attractive than traditional ones, and people are more likely to notice them. Moreover, they can also be updated in real time. Nowadays, digital billboards are common in many big cities around the world. It is hard to imagine places like Times Square in New York, Piccadilly Circus in London, or Shibuya in Tokyo without bright light adverts. Although they are growing in popularity, there have been concerns about their impact on the surrounding environment. Global light pollution is increasing each year. The constant light emitted by digital billboards often confuses birds, harms insects, and causes health problems in humans, too. In the past, public loudspeakers were used during the war to warn people of air attacks. Nowadays, they are still used in parts of Japan, the Philippines, and the US to alert people to natural disasters such as storms, earthquakes, and tornadoes. In Vietnam, they are used to communicate important public announcements to residents. However, the noise from a citywide loudspeaker system can cause problems for some people. More than 600 volunteers participated in sea turtle conservation activities held on Con Dao Island last week. Volunteers made sure that their spawning ground is safe. They also rescued turtle eggs and buried them in the sand. Sea turtles are threatened with extinction worldwide, and their populations have decreased dramatically in many places.